Good afternoon, everyone. Volcanic breakthroughs happening in many places on the planet. Also, Year of the Snake. Let's take a look at wars over the last 120 years that have started, as well as how the stock market performed during these very same times in the Year of the Snake. And this story caught my interest here. 80,000 people evacuating because of seismic activity, and then reading further in, a volcano has broken through the area with earth cracks. That's a lot of people to move out of the way for a volcano starting somewhere. And this is in Ethiopia, Afar and Oromia, Ethiopia. Earth cracks started, and people were a little bit, excited about it in the beginning until the small mud volcano started to emerge, and then people were like, well, this is getting a little more, say, out of control. The authorities were called in, and then suddenly this thing just gets a super pressure boost, and it's the beginning of a new volcano. So people were evacuated from the area. They cordoned it off, and here's the location on the map, right in the center of the Rift Valley. Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, a little bit north and east of that. And from the satellite view here, you can take a look at where the Rift Valley is. Those three continents slightly pulling away from each other, creating these calderas, shield volcanoes, and incredible tectonic activity at the moment. Now pull further away. You can also see Dothan, which is one of the major locations. An enormous amount of seismic activities happen, along with the breakthroughs in the steam vents that are just starting to come out of the ground literally everywhere. About 50 kilometers or 30 miles from Erta Ale volcano, well-known caldera for lava activity, similar to Kilauea, non-explosive eruption, but just an enormous amount of lava. It's at a 20-year high in activity, which would explain the breakthroughs. Also, you hear me talk about the new Renaissance Dam occasionally in some of the videos. Here it is. Those two lakes that look dragon-esque. Well, the second one is now full and operational. That means continuous hydroelectricity, full constant power, and irrigation and water source. This is going to be a new economic zone beginning in Africa. Look here first, Ethiopia. And Erta Ale, the shield volcano, this is the amount of magmatic activity. Again, a 20-year high at the moment. Seems to be such the tourist draw, people going up there. And there's an unusual effect that occurs also where the sulfuric gases ignite in the evening and they put off this blue hue. It burns bright blue, and they call it the blue volcano, at least in some areas where you get this same effect. I'm not a filter, but when I see something like this, it makes me want to visit, although bring a gas mask with you. Taking a look at Jalisco in Mexico, they're also having a breakthrough that just has started. They've had earth cracks in the same areas last year, and suddenly the steam vents are erupting open. Authorities have cordoned this area off also. I think they understand that those two are related, and now we're seeing different kind of breakthroughs happening on the planet. A cutting-edge 2024 study shows collagen can have drastically positive effects on skin health. This study found that women who take a daily collagen drink see a noticeable reduction in wrinkles and firmer, more hydrated skin. But it's important not to use just any random collagen. Make sure you use a collagen that's backed by real science. Unlike poorly sourced collagen you'll typically find on store shelves, I use the top 5 critically important types of collagen for skin health. The unique formulation in its design to reduce visible signs of aging, reduce wrinkles, promote elasticity, and promote skin hydration. Simply mix this with your morning coffee, protein shake, or smoothie to give your skin the support it needs each day. Do your skin a favor and grab some while it's 51% off during their holiday promotion only at healthwithadapt2030.com. Plus, order today to receive a free book titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping with your order. Once again, that's healthwithadapt2030.com. Click on that link in the description box below. And now the Italian supervolcano Campi Flegrei showing signs of coming back to life once again, spooking the Italian authorities. Vesuvius, Campi Flegrei, and Etna having a super show of lava these last few days and weeks. Pressure's building in the crust with all of these breakthroughs across all of these continents simultaneously. So what do you think is causing that? Is that we've come off solar maximum? More cosmic rays? Magnetic field with a new world magnetic model just released showing that the polar wander is continuing toward Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia about 70 miles this year. So we're getting this combination of everything occurring at once and then all these superstorms at the exact same time. And you have to ask yourself, is it related? Is it a cycle and is it forecastable? Because if it is, then that makes sense why our world is being forced in a certain direction on the exact same timeline that all of these events are occurring in unison. And staying in Africa, bringing you to Mecca here, Saudi Arabia driving as the storm approaches. These wind speeds and the ferocity of the front and the rain, they haven't seen this in hundreds of years. Streets turning into rivers. You know, when there's nowhere for that water to go, it becomes the stream itself downhill. Doesn't matter. You look at this and say, the frankincense route was open when they talked about rainfall such as this around 800 AD when the Marib Dam was also full. This type of rainfall was common. Not in the last 1200 years, but it's back again. Slow flow, fast flow, it flows when the water has nowhere to go. Much like a snake finds its way twisting and turning over and through the objects. Wood Snake Year. Happy Lunar New Year to everybody out there. Year of the Snake. I covered this yesterday. And perhaps this is why Elon had sent us some New Year greetings a few weeks ago in advance, getting ready for the show. And reading through the comments from yesterday's video, some people are like, hey, there's some different snake years with different wars, and there's different snake years with different stock market events. So I went into Grok and ended up asking a few questions. There's my prompt here. You know, what was a significant list of conflicts or wars that started during snake years? It didn't have to be a wood snake year per se, but a snake year. So 1914 to 18, World War I, and then U.S. got involved in 1917, and that was a fire snake year. Great Depression, that was an earth snake year. And subsequently, the U.S. entering World War II in December 7th, 1941, that was a metal snake year. But the beginning of World War I itself, that occurred in Europe, and that had nothing to do with snake year. That was just U.S. involvement popping in. The same exact thing in World War I. It wasn't the year of the conflict beginning, but it's when the U.S. entered it. So do we see any snake symbology on any of our bills along with the eagles? Just asking. Korean War also started in 1950. U.S. gets involved in 1953. Water snake year. Are you seeing a pattern here? If we bring it up to the Vietnam era, the advisors were there in the early 60s and then 65. U.S. really starts to build up wood snake year just like this year. And then 9/11, we know what happened in September there. That was a metal snake year. So there is a little bit of correlation, but nothing definitive because the actual start of these conflicts was at a different time. It was just the U.S. entry into the conflicts is unanimously during snake years. Now, looking over at 150 years of stock market, again, I couldn't bring it back. I wanted to bring it back to the tulip bubble mania and see if I could overlap, but it's just like, well, there's not enough data for this. So 1905. All right, so we know what happens in 1907. U.S. needs a bailout. J.P. Morgan offers, along with other banking friends, gold to bail the U.S. out. They get the right to create the Federal Reserve and the Creature from Jekyll Island. Meetings are held. That was all from that subsequent event from 1905, 1908. What happened during that time? Wood snake, just like this year. Fire snake year, again, World War I, 1929, the collapse there. Losses of 17.17%, 1929, 1941, down 12.77%. So I'm starting to, do you see Any pattern here? Not really. It's, going back in time, it's more difficult to discern a pattern. But coming in more 1950s, it's easier to find something. About even 1953, that's a water snake year. Again, 1965 wood snake gains almost 13%, 12.45%. Fire snake year 1977, down a little bit, 7.18%. That's not earth-shattering. Earth snake 1989, gaining 27.25%. I mean, that's a huge gain, nearly 30%. And then obviously 2001, a lot of things crashed then, almost 12% down, 11.89%, but that was all geopolitical driven. Metal snake, and then we come into the water snake 2013, approximately 30%, 32.39%. That's very similar to the earth snake year of 1989, 2013, 30% returns. So again, there's nothing really there to say it is a pattern. But jumping over into Asia and looking at what occurred during snake years, Tiananmen Square and the Asian financial crisis. And then the summary, I guess, would be it doesn't really show that there is any exact correlation between this, but the dot-com bubble, metal snake, we saw a lot of big events, metal snake years as well. So if you do see a correlation that I missed, please throw it in the comments below. But I do see the U.S. involvement in all of the great wars over the last 120 years occurred during wood snake years, or at least snake years. That the U.S. jumps in, and then as you look around right now, all the geopolitical chess pieces are out on the board right now. So I'm just wondering what would occur based on past cycles, and it seems like that is a very heavy correlation. Stock market yields, stock market returns, crypto's too new. That was only around since 2013. You really can't even get much analysis out of that except maybe one snake year that had occurred. Everything was up anyway because Bitcoin was on a run from what, $1 back then, 2013 to 100,000 now. So hard to say in that trajectory there where a snake year lies in the middle on the crypto. But it's all about the intuition that you might be feeling during this time, because a lot of occult elitists run on these same type of energetic cycles and circles. They understand certain energies allow certain other things to be, well, accomplished that wouldn't be without those energies in play. And talking about billionaires setting goals for the new year, a billionaire's advice: when you're not sure, flip a coin, because when the coin is in the air, you realize which option you're actually hoping for. So what option are you hoping for achieving goals this year and moving through the chaos that is our modern world? But please join us over on x.com. Civ Cycle, where we throw up granular nuggets of some of these same conversations, easy to digest and share with others. And also be part of the journey. Patreon Subscribestar. I dropped a video day before yesterday talking about the UK wind industry when these winter storms come in and they have to cut all of their wind power production. Who pays for that? I do appreciate you watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Please share with your friends and family so they can be part of the conversation as well, and we can find some answers and find our way through the ever-changing world. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.